Imagine this. You spend 10 years building something from absolutely nothing. Late nights, sacrificed relationships, maxed out credit cards. You pour your blood, sweat, and tears into creating a successful tech company worth millions. And then, your own family tries to steal it from you. Now, imagine you're sitting at a family dinner and your parents, the people who are supposed to have your back, casually announce that they're handing your company over to your younger sister, the sister who's been there for barely any time at all. The company you built, the empire you created from scratch. What would you do? Would you fight back? Would you walk away? Or would you burn it all down and build something even better? Pause. This is the true story of one man's ultimate revenge against the family that betrayed him. And trust me, the way he handled this is absolutely legendary. Stay with me because this story is going to take some serious twists. But real quick, before we dive into this absolute roller coaster of a story, if you're new to the channel, welcome. This is where we break down the most insane, unbelievable, jaw-dropping, real-life stories from across the internet. We're talking family drama, revenge, justice served cold, and everything in between. If you love these kinds of stories, do me a huge favor. Smash that subscribe button and hit the bell so you never miss an upload. And if you're already subscribed, you're amazing. Thank you for being part of this community. Drop a comment below and let me know, have you ever been betrayed by family? How did you handle it? Also, this video is going to be a long one, so grab some snacks, get comfortable, and let's dive into one of the most satisfying revenge stories I've ever come across. Trust me, you're going to want to hear every single detail of this. Our story begins about a decade ago. Let's call our main character Marcus. Marcus was 23 years old, fresh out of college, and like so many young people, he had a dream. He wanted to build something of his own. He didn't want to work for someone else for the rest of his life. He wanted to create, to innovate, to build an empire from the ground up. Now, Marcus wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He didn't have rich parents funding his ventures. He didn't have investors throwing money at him. What he had was an idea, a laptop, and an absolutely insane work ethic. Picture this. Marcus is working out of his tiny studio apartment. We're talking ramen noodles for dinner every night. He's got a second-hand desk from Goodwill, a chair that squeaks every time he moves, and a dream that most people would call unrealistic. But Marcus was different. He believed in himself, even when nobody else did. For the first 2 years, Marcus worked like a man possessed, and I mean possessed. We're talking 18-hour days, 7 days a week. While his friends were out partying, going to bars, living their best 20s, Marcus was grinding, coding until 3 a.m., cold calling potential clients, learning everything he could about business, marketing, sales, technology. He maxed out 3 credit cards. He borrowed money from friends with promises to pay them back. He ate nothing but cheap pasta and instant coffee. His girlfriend at the time left him because, and I quote, "You love your computer more than you love me." But you know what? Marcus didn't give up because he knew that this company, this dream was going to work. He could feel it in his bones. And then, after 2 years of absolute hell, something incredible happened. Marcus landed his first major client, a mid-sized company that needed exactly what Marcus's startup was offering, and they were willing to pay good money for it. This was the breakthrough Marcus had been waiting for. 1 client turned into 2, 2 turned into 5, 5 turned into 20. Before Marcus knew it, he had to hire employees, real employees, people who believed in his vision and wanted to be part of something special. By year 3, Marcus's little studio apartment startup had moved into actual office space. By year 5, they had 30 employees. By year 7, they were pulling in millions in revenue. Marcus had done it. He had actually done it. He had taken an idea and a dream and turned it into a legitimate, successful, thriving tech company. The kind of success story you read about in business magazines. From ramen noodles and maxed out credit cards to a multi-million-dollar enterprise. Marcus was finally living his dream. He had financial security, he had respect in his industry, he had built something he was genuinely proud of, something that was his. Now let's talk about Marcus's family for a minute, because this is where things start to get complicated. Marcus came from a pretty typical middle-class family. His dad was an accountant, his mom was a teacher. They were good people, but there was always, let's call it a dynamic in the family that Marcus had noticed since he was a kid. Marcus had a younger sister named Sarah. Sarah was 4 years younger than Marcus, and from the day she was born, she was the golden child. You know the type, the baby of the family who could do no wrong, the one who got away with everything. When Marcus got a B on his report card, it was, why isn't this an A? When Sarah got a C, it was, oh, that's okay, sweetie, you'll do better next time. When Marcus wanted to pursue tech instead of becoming a doctor or lawyer, his parents were skeptical. They thought it was risky, unstable, not a real career path. But Sarah, whatever Sarah wanted to do, Mom and Dad were 100% supportive. She wanted to study abroad, they paid for it without question. She wanted to go to a prestigious private business school, they found a way to make it happen. Now, Marcus loved his sister. Despite the favoritism, despite everything, he genuinely cared about her. They'd grown up together, played together as kids, fought over the TV remote, like normal siblings. But he couldn't deny that there was always this underlying current of resentment, this feeling that no matter what he accomplished, it would never be quite as good as whatever Sarah did. And when Marcus started his company, do you know how his parents reacted? They were politely concerned. That's nice, Marcus, but make sure you have a backup plan. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Maybe you should get a real job first and do this on the side. Meanwhile, when Sarah announced she was going to business school, it was like she'd won the Nobel Prize. The pride, the celebration, the Facebook posts about our brilliant daughter. But Marcus didn't let it get to him. He was too busy building his empire, too focused on proving everyone wrong. And you know what? He did prove them wrong. By the time Sarah was graduating from business school, Marcus's company was thriving. So let's fast forward to about 3 years before everything exploded. Sarah graduates from her prestigious business school with honors. She's got her MBA, she's got the credentials, and according to Mom and Dad, she's got the entire world at her feet. There's this big graduation party at their parents' house. The whole family is there, extended relatives, family friends, everyone celebrating Sarah's achievement. And Marcus is there too, genuinely happy for his sister. He's doing well, she's doing well. For once, it feels like maybe they're both winning. Then his dad pulls him aside. Marcus, son, we need to talk about something. Sarah's graduated now and she's looking for opportunities. She's got this incredible education, all these fresh ideas about business and management, and we were thinking maybe she could join your company. Now, Marcus's first reaction is actually positive. He thinks, you know what, why not? Sarah's smart, she's educated, and it might actually be nice to have family involved in the business. Plus, he's always wanted a better relationship with his sister. Maybe working together could bring them closer. But there was something in the way his dad said it. Not, would you consider hiring Sarah, but more like, Sarah should join your company. Like it was expected, like it was owed. But Marcus brushes that feeling aside. He's successful now, he's confident, and he thinks maybe he's just being paranoid about the family dynamics. So he says yes. And that, my friends, was mistake number 1. Sarah starts at the company about a month after graduation. Marcus sets her up with a decent position, not at the top because she's new to the actual working world, but not at the bottom either. He wants to give her a real opportunity to learn the business, to prove herself. For the first few weeks, everything seems great. Sarah's enthusiastic, she's asking good questions, she's sitting in on meetings and taking notes. She's got that fresh MBA energy, talking about optimization and synergies and all those business school buzzwords. Marcus notices that Sarah has something he doesn't. She's incredibly charismatic. I mean, Marcus is good with people, don't get me wrong, but Sarah could charm anyone. She had this way of walking into a room and making everyone feel like they were the most important person there. She starts having lunch with different team members, getting to know everyone, learning about their roles, their challenges, their ideas, and Marcus thinks this is great. His sister is integrating well with the team, building relationships. That's exactly what you want in a company, right? Right? About 3 months in, Marcus starts noticing some things. Small things at first, things you could easily brush off. Sarah starts making suggestions in meetings, which is fine. Marcus encourages input from everyone, but her suggestions aren't really suggestions. They're more like pronouncements, and she has this way of presenting them that makes anyone who disagrees look like they're not being a team player. Like, someone would say, "I'm not sure that approach would work because of X reason." And Sarah would respond with, "Well, that's very interesting, but in my business strategy courses at Columbia, we learned that the most innovative companies embrace change rather than resist it." It was subtle, but it was effective. She was positioning herself as the expert, the one with the fancy education, the fresh perspective, and it was working. Then Marcus notices that decisions he'd made are being, let's say, reinterpreted. He'd tell the team to focus on one client project, and a few days later, he'd find out Sarah had redirected resources to a different project because she thought it was a better strategic move. When Marcus confronts her about it, she's sweet as pie. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you'd approve since it's such a great opportunity. I was just taking initiative like you always encourage us to do." And it's delivered with such a bright smile that Marcus feels like he's the one being unreasonable for bringing it up. Here's where things get really interesting. Remember how I said Sarah was charming? Well, that charm was working overtime. Marcus starts noticing that when he walks into the break room, conversations stop. People who used to come to him with ideas are now going to Sarah first. In meetings, team members are looking at Sarah for approval before they look at Marcus. And the worst part is Sarah is good at what she does, like genuinely good. Some of her ideas are innovative, some of her strategies are working, so Marcus can't even say she's doing a bad job, because she's not. She's doing a great job. But she's also slowly, methodically, carefully positioning herself as the real leader of the company, the visionary, the one with the plan for the future. 6 months in, Marcus's own head of marketing comes to him and says, "Hey, Sarah mentioned that we should pivot our entire marketing strategy for next quarter. I just wanted to run it by you to make sure you're on board." Marcus hadn't heard anything about this pivot. Sarah hadn't mentioned it to him. She was making company-wide strategic decisions without consulting the founder, the CEO, the person who built this company from nothing. When Marcus confronts her, she does it again. The smile, the apology, the "I just got so excited about the opportunity that I forgot to loop you in." And then she adds, "But don't you think it's a great idea? The team is really excited about it." And that's the killer right there. The team is really excited about it. She's already got buy-in from everyone else before bringing it to Marcus. So now if he says no, he's not just overruling Sarah, he's disappointing the entire team. Around the 8-month mark, Marcus's parents start coming around the office more often. His dad drops by for lunch, his mom brings cookies for the team, and they're always talking about how proud Sarah is. "Sarah's doing such amazing work here. Have you seen the new strategy Sarah developed? Sarah was telling us about her vision for the company's future." Notice anything? It's always about Sarah's vision, Sarah's strategy, Sarah's ideas. Never Sarah's contributing to Marcus's company, always Sarah's work at the company. And then the dinner invitations start. "Marcus, Sarah, why don't you both come over for dinner this Sunday? We'd love to hear about how things are going at work." Marcus goes to these dinners and they follow the same pattern every time. His parents ask Sarah about her ideas, her plans, her vision. They ask Marcus about revenue numbers and operational details. Sarah gets to talk about dreams and innovation. Marcus gets to talk about spreadsheets and logistics. It's subtle, but it's there. They're positioning Sarah as the creative visionary and Marcus as what? The operations guy in his own company? It was a Tuesday evening in September. Marcus remembers it perfectly because it was the anniversary of when he first incorporated the company. 10 years. A full decade of building something from absolutely nothing. His parents invite him and Sarah over for dinner to celebrate the anniversary. Marcus thinks it's actually really sweet. Finally, they're acknowledging what he's built. Finally, they're recognizing his achievement. He had no idea what was coming. The dinner starts normally enough. His mom makes his favorite meal, pot roast with all the fixins. They're chatting, drinking wine, talking about family stuff. Marcus is actually relaxed for the first time in months. Work has been stressful with Sarah's constant maneuvering, so it's nice to just have a normal family dinner. And then, right as dessert is being served, his father clears his throat. Marcus, Sarah, your mother and I wanted to talk to you both about something important. We've been thinking a lot about the company and its future. Marcus's stomach drops. Something about the way his dad said the company, not your company, but the company, sets off alarm bells. His father continues, Marcus, you've done an incredible job building this business from the ground up. You should be very proud of what you accomplished. But as the company grows, it needs different leadership. It needs someone with fresh ideas, modern business education, and the strategic vision to take it to the next level. Marcus just stares at him. He can feel his heart pounding. He knows what's coming, but he can't quite believe it. We think Sarah should take over as CEO. She has the MBA, the strategic training, and frankly, the charisma to lead the company into its next phase. You could stay on as COO or CTO, handle the technical side while Sarah handles the business strategy and growth. The room goes completely silent. Marcus can hear the clock ticking on the wall. His mother is looking at her plate. Sarah is looking at their father with this expression that Marcus can't quite read. And his father is looking at him expectantly, like he just proposed a completely reasonable business decision. Marcus asks very carefully, "You want Sarah to take over my company? The company I built? The company I spent 10 years creating?" His mother jumps in, her voice gentle but firm. "Marcus, honey, nobody's taking anything away from you. We're just talking about restructuring for the good of the business. Sarah has the qualifications to lead a growing company. You're brilliant with technology, but running a multi-million-dollar company requires specific business skills." Incredulous tone. Marcus looks at Sarah. "Did you know about this?" Sarah has the decency to look uncomfortable. She says, "Dad mentioned it to me a few weeks ago. I wasn't sure how to bring it up to you. I know it's a lot to process." "A few weeks ago? You've known about this plan to take over my company for weeks, and you didn't think to mention it?" His father interrupts. "Marcus, you're getting emotional. This is a business decision. Your mother and I have watched Sarah's work over the past year, and we genuinely believe she's the right person to lead the company forward. You should be happy. You'll still be involved, still making great money, but with less stress." Slower, processing. And that's when Marcus realizes something that makes his blood run cold. His father said, "Your mother and I have watched Sarah's work. Not Sarah told us about her work, but we've watched." "How long have you been planning this?" Marcus asks quietly. The look his parents exchange tells him everything he needs to know. This wasn't a recent conversation. This had been in the works for a while. Maybe from the moment Sarah joined the company, maybe even before that. Heated, emotional. Marcus stands up from the table. His hands are shaking. "This is unbelievable. This is my company. I founded it. I built it from nothing. I worked 18-hour days for years while Sarah was in college partying. I maxed out credit cards. I ate ramen for 2 years straight. I sacrificed everything to build this company." His father, staying calm in that infuriating parent way, "And we're very proud of what you started, Marcus, but starting a company and scaling a company are two different things. Sarah has the education and the skills to take it to the next level." The next level? We're pulling in $8 million in revenue. We've got 50 employees. We're growing 20% year over year. What next level are you talking about? Sarah finally speaks up. "Marcus, I know this is hard to hear, but maybe Dad has a point. You're an amazing founder and technologist, but we could be doing so much more with the right strategic leadership. I've been working on some plans that could triple our revenue in 2 years." Plans you've been working on without me, in my company, plans you haven't bothered to share with the actual CEO? His mother, trying to be the peacemaker. Marcus, please sit down. Let's discuss this like adults. Discuss what? You've already made the decision. You're not asking me, you're telling me that you want to push me out of my company and hand it to Sarah. Quieter, more painful. Marcus looks at all three of them sitting at the dinner table, his parents looking disappointed in him for not being a team player, Sarah looking like she's trying to be sympathetic but also excited about her new opportunity. And something breaks inside him. He says very quietly, I can't believe you're doing this to me. After everything I've worked for, after building something from nothing, you want to take it away and give it to her because she has a piece of paper from a fancy school? His father, getting frustrated now. We're not taking anything, Marcus. Stop being so dramatic. This is about what's best for the company. Sometimes founders need to step aside to let the company grow. It happens all the time in business. Sometimes founders get pushed out by their own families? We're not pushing you out. We're repositioning you where your skills are best utilized. And that's when Marcus knows everything. He knows that if he stays, if he agrees to this, he'll be slowly squeezed out completely. They'll take his title, then his authority, then his equity, then his job. This isn't repositioning. This is a hostile takeover by his own family. Determined. Final. Marcus stands up from the table, puts his napkin on the table, and says, I need to think about this. His mother, Marcus, please, let's talk about this. I said I need to think about it. Thank you for dinner. He walks out of that house, gets in his car, and just sits there in the driveway for 20 minutes. His entire world has just shifted. The family he thought loved him has just tried to steal his life's work. The sister he welcomed into his company has been plotting to take it over. And that's when Marcus makes a decision. If they want to play hardball, he'll show them what hardball really looks like. Calculated, strategic tone. Marcus doesn't go back to the office the next day. He calls in sick, something he's almost never done in 10 years. Instead, he sits at home with a notebook and starts planning. See, here's what his family didn't understand. They thought because Sarah had the MBA and the business school education, she understood the company better than Marcus. But Marcus knew something they didn't. He knew everything. Marcus built this company from scratch. He knows every client personally. He knows which contracts are most valuable. He knows which employees are the real performers and which ones are just coasting. He knows where every dollar comes from and where every dollar goes. More importantly, he knows exactly how fragile the whole operation is because he's the one who's been holding it together for 10 years. So Marcus starts making a list, and this isn't just any list. This is a surgical strike plan. Methodical, businesslike. First, Marcus identifies the company's most valuable assets, not the office space or the computers or any of that stuff. The real assets. Asset number 1, the clients. The company has about 40 active clients, but 5 of them account for 60% of the revenue. And Marcus has personal relationships with all 5. He's the one that landed those contracts. He's the one they call when there's an issue. Not Sarah, him. Asset number 2, the talent. Out of 50 employees, there are about 15 who are absolutely critical. The senior developers, the lead designers, the sales director, the head of operations. These are the people who actually make everything work. And most of them were hired by Marcus personally. They're loyal to him, not the company brand. Asset number 3, the intellectual property. Marcus still personally owns a lot of the original code and frameworks the company was built on. When he started, he was the company. There was no separation. As things grew and they incorporated, some of that IP got transferred, but not all of it. There are gray areas, legal gray areas that a good lawyer could navigate. Asset number 4, the industry relationships. Marcus has been in the tech space for 10 years. He knows people, potential clients, partners, investors. They know him. They trust him. If Marcus started a new company, doors would open. So Marcus starts putting together a plan
a way to extract all these valuable assets legally and ethically. Well, ethically might be a strong word, but definitely legally, and leave his family with nothing but an empty shell. Quiet, secretive tone. Marcus schedules a meeting with a lawyer. Not the company's lawyer, his own personal attorney, someone who specializes in business formation and intellectual property. He explains the situation, the lawyer listens, nods, and says something that Marcus will never forget. You have every right to start a new business. You have every right to compete with your old business. And if employees and clients choose to follow you, that's their choice. Just make sure you don't violate any non-competes or steal any explicit company property. More energized. Over the next 2 weeks, Marcus works in complete secrecy. He files paperwork for a new LLC.
After the new company is set up, Marcus starts having very quiet, very private conversations. First, he reaches out to the 5 major clients. Not at the office, he takes them out for coffee, for lunch, for drinks, personal meetings, and he's very careful about what he says. Hey, I wanted to touch base with you about something. I'm considering starting a new venture, and I wanted to give you a heads up because I value our relationship. The direction my current company is going doesn't align with my vision anymore, and I think I can provide better service and more innovation through a fresh start. If and when I make that move, I'd love to continue working with you, but I completely understand if you want to stay with the current company. Here's the beautiful thing. These clients don't really care about the company name on the invoice. They care about results, relationships, and reliability. And Marcus is the one who's been delivering all 3 for years. Every single one of the 5 major clients says the same thing. Marcus, we work with you, not with the company. If you leave, we're coming with you. That's 60% of the revenue committed right there. Next, Marcus has similar conversations with the 15 key employees. He's even more careful with these because he doesn't want word getting back to Sarah or his family. He starts with his head of development, a guy named James, who's been with the company for 7 years. They meet at a bar after work, and Marcus is direct but cautious. James, I'm going to tell you something, and I need you to keep it completely confidential. My family is trying to push me out of the company and replace me with my sister. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm starting a new company, and I'm taking the best parts of this one with me. I want you to come with me. Same salary, same position, but equity in the new company from day one. Are you in? James doesn't even hesitate. Absolutely. You built this place. Everyone knows Sarah's been maneuvering to take over. Half the team is already worried about what happens when she's in charge. Count me in. One by one, Marcus has these conversations. The lead designer, the sales director, the senior developers, the operations manager. And one by one, they all say yes. By week 3 of his secret planning, Marcus has commitments from all 5 major clients and 14 out of his 15 target employees. The only one who says no is someone who's dating Sarah. No surprise there. Now, Marcus knows he has to do this right. If he messes up, his family could sue him into oblivion. So he goes back to his lawyer with everything documented. I've got verbal commitments from these clients and employees. What do I need to do to make sure this is bulletproof? The lawyer reviews everything: employment contracts, non-competes, intellectual property agreements, client contracts. And here's where Marcus's early startup scrappiness actually helps him. Back when the company was tiny and he was broke, Marcus didn't have fancy lawyers writing airtight contracts. A lot of the early agreements were basic, standard templates. There are no non-competes for most of the early employees. There are no exclusivity clauses in several of the major client contracts. The IP agreements have loopholes. The lawyer comes back with good news. As long as you don't take physical company property, use company resources for your new business, or violate specific contractual obligations, you're in the clear. Clients can choose to work with whoever they want. Employees can quit and work wherever they want. And that IP gray area, we can argue that you personally owned that before the company existed. Marcus asks the million-dollar question. When should I do this? The lawyer says, the moment you're ready, pull the trigger. Don't give them time to react or create new contracts or shore up their defenses. Move fast and decisively. Marcus picks his moment carefully. His parents have been increasing the pressure, having more frequent family meetings about the transition. Sarah has been getting bolder, making more decisions without him, treating him more like a department head than the CEO. Then his father calls and says they want to have another family dinner the following Sunday to finalize the transition plan. They want Marcus to sign papers officially stepping down as CEO and moving to CTO. So he goes back to his lawyer with everything documented. I've got verbal commitments from these clients and employees. What do I need to do to make sure this is bulletproof? The lawyer reviews everything: employment contracts, non-competes, intellectual property agreements, client contracts. And here's where Marcus's early startup scrappiness actually helps him. Back when the company was tiny and he was broke, Marcus didn't have fancy lawyers writing airtight contracts. A lot of the early agreements were basic, standard templates. There are no non-competes for most of the early employees. There are no exclusivity clauses in several of the major client contracts. The IP agreements have loopholes. The lawyer comes back with good news. As long as you don't take physical company property, use company resources for your new business, or violate specific contractual obligations, you're in the clear. Clients can choose to work with whoever they want. Employees can quit and work wherever they want. And that IP gray area, we can argue that you personally owned that before the company existed. Marcus asks the million-dollar question: when should I do this? The lawyer says, the moment you're ready, pull the trigger. Don't give them time to react or create new contracts or shore up their defenses. Move fast and decisively. Marcus picks his moment carefully. His parents have been increasing the pressure, having more frequent family meetings about the transition. Sarah has been getting bolder, making more decisions without him, treating him more like a department head than the CEO. Then his father calls and says they want to have another family dinner the following Sunday to finalize the transition plan. They want Marcus to sign papers officially stepping down as CEO and moving to CTO. Marcus agrees to the dinner, but he has no intention of signing anything. Instead, he schedules the launch of his new company for the Friday before that dinner. Why Friday? Because it gives clients and employees the weekend to transition, and by the time Monday rolls around, it'll be too late for his family to do anything about it. That week, Marcus sends out the official offers to all the employees who committed, real contracts with better salaries and equity packages. He sends formal proposals to the 5 major clients with improved terms and service agreements. He makes sure everything is legally documented and signed. Thursday night, Marcus goes into the office after everyone's left. He packs up his personal items, photos, a few books, his favorite coffee mug. Nothing that belongs to the company, but the things that are his. He looks around at the office one last time, the space he built, the company he created from nothing. And you know what? He doesn't feel sad. He feels angry and determined. Friday morning, Marcus gets to the office early, 7 a.m. He writes an email. Not a long one, he keeps it short and professional. Effective immediately, I am resigning from my position as CEO and from all positions at the company. I appreciate the opportunity to have built this organization from the ground up. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Regards, Marcus. That's it. No explanation, no drama. Just a clean, professional resignation. But attached to that email is another document, a simple announcement that Marcus is launching a new company. And in that announcement, there's a list of clients who have already signed on, a list of employees who are joining him, and an invitation for anyone else who's interested to reach out. Marcus sends the email at 7:15 a.m. to the entire company, all 50 employees. Then he forwards it to his parents, then to Sarah. And then he sits back and waits. The first response comes in at 7:23 a.m. It's from James, the head of development, sent to the entire team. I'm joining Marcus. It's been an honor working with all of you, but I believe in Marcus's vision and leadership. Last day is today. Then, like dominoes falling, the responses start flooding in. 7:31 a.m. Lead designer.
I'm out too, moving to Marcus's new company. 7:38 a.m., senior developer. Count me in with Marcus. Resignation effective immediately. 7:42 a.m., sales director. Following Marcus. Thanks for everything, team. One after another after another. 14 emails total. 14 of the company's most critical employees, all resigning in the span of 45 minutes, all following Marcus to his new venture. And then the clients start calling. Not the company, they're calling Marcus's personal cell phone, the phone he's had since the beginning. Marcus, we got your announcement. Just wanted to confirm. We're terminating our contract with your old company and signing with your new one. Can we get the paperwork started today? By 9 a.m., 3 of the 5 major clients had already sent termination notices to the old company and signed agreements with Marcus's new one. The other 2 follow by end of day. Marcus's phone rings at 8:47 a.m. It's Sarah. He almost doesn't answer, but curiosity gets the better of him. Marcus, what the hell are you doing? She's not charming now. She's panicking. I'm starting a new company, Sarah, just like I did 10 years ago, except this time I'm taking the good parts with me. You can't do this. This is sabotage. This is illegal. Actually, it's completely legal. I checked with my lawyer multiple times. Employees are free to quit and work wherever they want. Clients are free to choose their service providers. And I'm free to start a business. Just like you learned in business school, competition is healthy for the market. But you're destroying everything. The company will collapse without those clients and employees. You mean my company? The one you and mom and dad were planning to take from me? That company? Yeah, you're right. It probably will collapse. But that's not my problem anymore. That's the CEO's problem. Oh wait, that's going to be you, isn't it? There's silence on the other end. Then Sarah says quietly, "We weren't trying to take it from you. We just thought, you thought you could push me aside because you have an MBA and I'm just the founder who did the actual work. You thought I'd roll over and accept being demoted in my own company? You were wrong. Marcus, please, we can fix this. Come back. We'll talk about a better arrangement." There's nothing to talk about, Sarah. I built that company once. I can build it again, except this time I'm building it without family. Good luck with your new leadership role. You're going to need it. And Marcus hangs up. An hour later, both of his parents show up at his apartment. Marcus sees them through the peephole, standing in the hallway. His father looks angry. His mother looks like she's been crying. He considers not answering, but he opens the door. Do you have any idea what you've done? You've destroyed everything. Years of work gone. How could you be so selfish? Marcus just stares at his father. Selfish? I'm selfish? You tried to steal my company and give it to Sarah, and I'm selfish? Marcus, honey, we weren't trying to steal anything. We were trying to help the company grow. By pushing out the founder, by giving my position to someone who's been there less than a year, that's helping? Sarah has the qualifications. She has the education. She knows how to run a business properly. And I built the business from nothing. While Sarah was in college, I was working 18-hour days. While Sarah was studying case studies, I was living them. I turned an idea and a laptop into an $8 million company, and you think she can do it better because she has a piece of paper from Columbia? You want to know what Sarah's grand qualifications got her? An empty office and no clients, because the clients don't work with the company name, they work with me, the employees. The employees don't follow a strategy, they follow leadership, and I'm the leader. I always have been.
Marcus agrees to the dinner, but he has no intention of signing anything. Instead, he schedules the launch of his new company for the Friday before that dinner. Why Friday? Because it gives clients and employees the weekend to transition, and by the time Monday rolls around, it'll be too late for his family to do anything about it. That week, Marcus sends out the official offers to all the employees who committed, real contracts with better salaries and equity packages. He sends formal proposals to the 5 major clients with improved terms and service agreements. He makes sure everything is legally documented and signed. Thursday night, Marcus goes into the office after everyone's left. He packs up his personal items, photos, a few books, his favorite coffee mug, nothing that belongs to the company, but the things that are his. He looks around at the office one last time, the space he built, the company he created from nothing. And you know what? He doesn't feel sad. He feels angry and determined. Friday morning, Marcus gets to the office early, 7 a.m. He writes an email, not a long one. He keeps it short and professional. Effective immediately, I am resigning from my position as CEO and from all positions at the company. I appreciate the opportunity to have built this organization from the ground up. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Regards, Marcus. That's it. No explanation, no drama, just a clean, professional resignation. But attached to that email is another document, a simple announcement that Marcus is launching a new company. And in that announcement, there's a list of clients who have already signed on, a list of employees who are joining him, and an invitation for anyone else who's interested to reach out. Marcus sends the email at 7:15 a.m. to the entire company, all 50 employees. Then he forwards it to his parents, then to Sarah, and then he sits back and waits. The first response comes in at 7:23 a.m. It's from James, the head of development, sent to the entire team. I'm joining Marcus. It's been an honor working with all of you, but I believe in Marcus's vision and leadership. Last day is today. Then, like dominoes falling, the responses start flooding in. 7:31 a.m., lead designer, I'm out too, moving to Marcus's new company. 7:38 a.m., senior developer, count me in with Marcus, resignation effective immediately. 7:42 a.m., sales director, following Marcus, thanks for everything, team. One after another, 14 emails total, 14 of the company's most critical employees, all resigning in the span of 45 minutes, all following Marcus to his new venture. And then the clients start calling, not the company, they're calling Marcus's personal cell phone, the phone he's had since the beginning. Marcus, we got your announcement. Just wanted to confirm, we're terminating our contract with your old company and signing with your new one. Can we get the paperwork started today? By 9 a.m., 3 of the 5 major clients have already sent termination notices to the old company and signed agreements with Marcus's new company. The other 2 follow by end of day. Marcus's phone rings at 8:47 a.m. It's Sarah. He almost doesn't answer, but curiosity gets the better of him. Marcus, what the hell are you doing? She's not charming now. She's panicking. I'm starting a new company, Sarah, just like I did 10 years ago, except this time I'm taking the good parts with me. You can't do this. This is sabotage. This is illegal. Actually, it's completely legal. I checked with my lawyer multiple times. Employees are free to quit and work wherever they want. Clients are free to choose their service providers, and I'm free to start a business. Just like you learned in business school, competition is healthy for the market. But you're destroying everything. The company will collapse without those clients and employees. You mean my company? The one you and mom and dad were planning to take from me? That company? Yeah, you're right, it probably will collapse, but that's not my problem anymore. That's the CEO's problem. Oh, wait, that's going to be you, isn't it? There's silence on the other end. Then Sarah says quietly, we weren't trying to take it from you. We just thought... You thought you could push me aside because you have an MBA and I'm just the founder who did the actual work. You thought I'd roll over and accept being demoted in my own company. You were wrong. Marcus, please, we can fix this. Come back, we'll talk about a better arrangement. There's nothing to talk about, Sarah. I built that company once. I can build it again, except this time I'm building it without family. Good luck with your new leadership role. You're going to need it. And Marcus hangs up. An hour later, both of his parents show up at his apartment. Marcus sees them through the peephole, standing in the hallway. His father looks angry. His mother looks like she's been crying. He considers not answering, but he opens the door. Do you have any idea what you've done? You've destroyed everything. Years of work gone. How could you be so selfish? Marcus just stares at his father. Selfish? I'm selfish? You tried to steal my company and give it to Sarah, and I'm selfish? Marcus, honey, we weren't trying to steal anything. We were trying to help the company grow. By pushing out the founder, by giving my position to someone who's been there less than a year, that's helping? Sarah has the qualifications. She has the education. She knows how to run a business properly. And I built the business from nothing. While Sarah was in college, I was working 18-hour days. While Sarah was studying case studies, I was living them. I turned an idea and a laptop into an $8 million company, and you think she can do it better because she has a piece of paper from Columbia? You want to know what Sarah's grand qualifications got her? An empty office and no clients, because the clients don't work with a company name, they work with me. The employees don't follow a business strategy, they follow leadership, and I'm the leader. I always have been. His mother is crying now. Marcus, you're tearing this family apart. No, Mom, you tore it apart when you decided Sarah was more important than me, when you decided her success mattered more than mine, when you decided that after 10 years of me proving myself, I still wasn't good enough. That's not fair. We've always supported you. Supported me. You told me starting a business was risky and I should get a real job. You barely acknowledged my success until Sarah graduated and needed a place to work. And then suddenly my company was interesting, not because of what I'd built, but because it was an opportunity for Sarah. We're proud of both of you. No. You're proud of Sarah. You're tolerant of me. There's a difference. And you know what? I'm done caring about that difference. I'm done trying to earn your approval. I'm done playing second fiddle to the golden child. If you don't fix this, if you don't come back to the company, you're out of this family. Long pause. This is the moment. Marcus looks at his father, really looks at him, and he realizes something. This threat, being cut off from the family, doesn't scare him anymore. In fact, it sounds like freedom. Okay, then I'm out. Mother's gasp, father's voice. Marcus, don't be ridiculous. I'm not being ridiculous, Dad. I'm being clear. You made your choice. You chose Sarah over me. You chose to try to take my company. So now I'm making my choice. I choose me. I choose my success. And I choose to never let you make me feel like I'm not good enough ever again. Please close the door on your way out. And he goes back inside his apartment and closes the door. He can hear his mother crying in the hallway. He can hear his father trying to comfort her, saying, he'll come around, he's just emotional. But Marcus knows he won't come around. This is it. The bridge is burned. And for the first time in his life, he feels free. Fresh start energy. The next few weeks are absolute chaos, but the good kind of chaos, the exciting kind. Marcus's new company launches officially the following Monday. He's got office space lined up, nothing fancy, just a decent spot with room for his team. But you know what? It feels exactly like the early days of his first startup. Except this time, he's not alone in a studio apartment. He's got a core team of talented people who chose to follow him. That first week, it's all hands on deck. They're setting up workstations, configuring systems, onboarding clients. James, the head of development, actually says, this feels like when I first joined your original company. Remember? When we were scrappy and hungry and everything was possible? I miss this feeling. And Marcus realizes he missed it too. Somewhere along the way, as the company grew and his family got involved, he'd lost that original spark, that feeling of building something with people who actually believed in the mission. But it's not all smooth sailing. There are long days, stressful moments, technical challenges. They're essentially rebuilding an entire company infrastructure in weeks instead of years. However, there's a big difference this time. Marcus owns everything, 100%. No family members trying to take credit, no sister making decisions behind his back, no parents pressuring him to hand over control. Just him, his team, and the work. Meanwhile, the old company is imploding, spectacularly. Marcus hears about it through industry connections. People love gossip, especially in the tech world, and the story of how a founder gutted his own company before his family could steal it, that's spreading like wildfire. Apparently, that first Monday after Marcus's resignation, Sarah shows up to the office expecting to take charge. She walks in as the new CEO, just like her parents planned, and finds 36 employees instead of 50. The critical ones are gone. She tries to rally the remaining team, gives a speech about moving forward and new opportunities. But these are the junior employees, the support staff, people who don't have the relationships or leverage to easily jump ship. They're scared, and Sarah's motivational speech doesn't help. Then the clients start calling. Not the 5 major ones, they're gone, but the smaller clients who are nervous. They've heard about the mass exodus. They want to know if their projects are safe, if their contracts will be fulfilled. Sarah tries to reassure them, but she doesn't have the technical knowledge to answer their specific questions. She promises the remaining developers can handle everything, but those developers are already overwhelmed trying to cover for the senior people who left. By week 2, 3 more clients terminate their contracts. By week 3, 5 employees quit. They can see the writing on the wall. By week 4, the company has lost 70% of its revenue and half its staff. Sarah tries everything. She reaches out to Marcus's new company's clients, trying to win them back. They politely decline. She tries to recruit new talent, but word has gotten around about what happened. People don't want to work for a company that's in a death spiral. She even tries to hire back some of the employees who left with Marcus, offers them more money, better titles, but they're not interested. They didn't leave for money, they left for leadership, for vision, for Marcus. Tense, persistent pressure, Marcus's parents don't give up easily. They keep trying to contact him, emails, phone calls, showing up at his new office. His mother sends long emails about family being more important than business, about forgiveness and moving forward, about how they can work this out if everyone just sits down and talks. His father sends shorter, angrier emails about responsibility and loyalty, about how Marcus owes them for raising him, about how he's destroyed his sister's opportunity. Marcus deletes them all without responding. Then they try a different approach. They start bad-mouthing him in industry circles, telling people that Marcus sabotaged the company out of spite, that he was always difficult to work with, that Sarah was trying to save a sinking ship and Marcus torpedoed it. But here's the thing, Marcus has been in this industry for a decade. He has relationships, a reputation, and results. People know him. And when they hear his side of the story, that his family tried to steal the company he built, the sympathy is overwhelmingly in his favor. In fact, the attempted smear campaign backfires completely. Industry peers start reaching out to Marcus to offer support. Potential clients who heard the story want to work with him because they respect someone who stands up for themselves. Partners and vendors from the old company switch to working with his new company. The attempted character assassination just makes Marcus look like the victim who fought back, which is exactly what he is. About 2 months in, Marcus gets a call from an unknown number. He almost doesn't answer, but something makes him pick up. It's Sarah, and she sounds broken. "Marcus, please, the company is dying. We've lost almost everything. I don't know what to do. Please help me." For a moment, just a moment, Marcus feels a twinge of sympathy. She is his sister after all. They grew up together, and despite everything, some part of him remembers the kid who used to follow him around asking to play video games. But then he remembers that dinner, the betrayal, the plan to push him out, and the sympathy evaporates. Marcus, not cruel, but firm, "Sarah, I told you to be careful what you wished for. You wanted to be CEO. You wanted to lead the company. Well, this is what leadership looks like when you don't actually build something yourself. This is what happens when you try to take credit for someone else's work." "I didn't know they were going to push you out. I swear. I wanted to be part of something successful. I wanted Mom and Dad to be proud of you like they were proud of you."
Proud of me? Sarah, they were never proud of me. That's the point. They were proud of you, always, for everything. I was just the one they tolerated, the one who wasn't good enough. Even after building a multi-million-dollar company, I still wasn't as good as you with your fancy MBA. That's not true. They love you. Maybe they do, but love and respect are different things, and they didn't respect what I built. They didn't respect my leadership. They wanted to replace me with you. So now you get to deal with the consequences of that decision. Marcus, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. If I could go back, but you can't, and neither can I. You made your choice, I made mine. Goodbye, Sarah. And he hangs up, and this time he blocks the number. 6 months after the resignation, Marcus's new company is thriving. They've not only retained all 5 major clients, but landed 7 new ones. The team has grown from 14 to 30 employees. Revenue is actually higher than what he was pulling at the old company, because without the dead weight and drama, they're more efficient. Marcus gets to do what he loves, work with his team, serve his clients, build innovative solutions. No family meetings, no power struggles, no looking over his shoulder wondering who's plotting against him. He's working hard, but he's happy, actually happy, for the first time in years. The old company? It's barely limping along. They've consolidated down to about 12 employees. Sarah is technically still the CEO, but from what Marcus hears, she's basically just managing the decline, trying to fulfill existing contracts and hoping to sell what's left to someone who might want to buy a shell company. His parents reportedly sank a bunch of their retirement savings trying to keep it afloat. Didn't help. You can't save a company that lost its core value proposition. About 8 months in, Marcus gets invited to speak at a tech industry conference. The topic, building resilient companies in competitive markets. He's hesitant at first. He's never been one for the spotlight, but his team encourages him. Your story is inspiring, James tells him. You built something twice. People should hear about it. So Marcus agrees, and when he takes that stage in front of 300 industry professionals, he tells his story, not with bitterness or anger, but with honesty. I learned that the value of a company isn't in its name or its office space or even its technology. It's in its people and its relationships. When I left my original company, I didn't take anything that wasn't mine to take, but the people chose to come with me. The clients chose to work with me because they weren't loyal to a company, they were loyal to leadership, to vision, to relationships built on trust. I also learned that sometimes the people who are supposed to support you will let you down, and that's okay, because it teaches you who you really are when everything is stripped away. It teaches you that you don't need anyone's permission to be successful. You just need belief in yourself and the willingness to work for it. The audience gives him a standing ovation. Afterward, dozens of people come up to shake his hand, share their own stories of betrayal and comeback, ask for advice. And Marcus realizes he's not just successful, he's respected. He's earned something that his sister's MBA could never buy. Genuine respect from his peers.
A year after the resignation, Marcus is at a coffee shop working on his laptop when someone sits down across from him. It's his mother. He hasn't seen her in person since that day at his apartment. For a second, he considers leaving, but something stops him. Maybe curiosity, maybe residual love for the woman who raised him, maybe just the desire to finally close this chapter. Hello, Marcus. Mom, I'm not here to fight or argue or ask you for anything. I wanted to see you, to talk to you. Marcus closes his laptop. Okay, talk. Your father and I made mistakes. We see that now. We pushed too hard for Sarah. We didn't appreciate what you'd built. We treated you unfairly. We thought we were doing what was best for the business, Sarah's education, her ideas. We genuinely believed she could take things to the next level. We didn't mean to hurt you. But you did hurt me. Intentionally or not, you tried to take away the thing I'd spent a decade building. You didn't even ask me how I felt about it. You just announced it like my opinion didn't matter. We thought you'd see it as an opportunity to have less stress. I didn't want less stress. I wanted respect. I wanted you to see me as someone who'd accomplished something remarkable. Instead, you saw me as someone who needed to be replaced by his younger sister. His mother looks down at her hands. We've lost so much, Marcus. The company is gone. She's struggling. She's moved back home. She can't find work because everyone in the industry knows what happened. Your father and I had to use our retirement savings to cover company debts. And your father, he's been so stressed. He had a health scare last month. Nothing serious, but the doctor says he needs to reduce stress. And, Mom, why are you telling me this? Because I'm scared, Marcus. I'm scared we've lost you forever. You're my son. Yes, we made mistakes, terrible mistakes, but you're still my son. And the idea that we might never have a relationship again, it terrifies me. We miss you. Your father won't admit it, but he does. He was wrong. We were wrong. And I'm begging for a chance to rebuild. Not the company, that's gone, but our family. Can we rebuild our family? Marcus looks at his mother, really looks at her. She looks older than he remembered, tired, sad, and he feels complicated things. Do you understand what you did? Not just the company stuff, but what you actually did to me?
We hurt you. We disrespected your work. You made me feel like I wasn't enough, like I would never be enough. I built something incredible from nothing, and instead of celebrating that, you wanted to give it to Sarah. Do you know how that felt, to work that hard and still not be good enough? Marcus, you've always been enough, more than enough. We were so proud of Sarah's education. We got caught up in it. We made her success more important than yours, and that was wrong, so wrong. I've spent the last year building something new, something that's completely mine. And you know what I realized? I don't need your approval anymore. I don't need Dad's validation. I don't need to prove myself to anyone. I'm successful because I'm good at what I do, not because you acknowledge it, not because Sarah respects it, because I actually built it. And that's something I could never have learned if you hadn't tried to take it from me. So in a weird way, thank you. You forced me to stand up for myself. You forced me to realize my own worth. So, does that mean... It means I'm not angry anymore. I was furious for months, hurt, betrayed, but I'm not anymore. I've moved on. I've built something better, and I've learned that I don't need you to be successful. But maybe I'd like you to be part of my life again, someday, when enough time has passed, when we can start fresh without all the baggage. Really? Maybe. I'm not making any promises, but I don't want to hate my family forever. I just need time, and I need to know that you understand what you did, really understand it, not just apologize because things didn't work out the way you planned. I do understand. I promise you I do. I have to go. I have a meeting with a new client in 20 minutes. Of course, Marcus. Thank you for sitting with me, for listening. Take care of yourself, Mom, and tell him I hope he's okay. The health stuff, I mean it. I will. He'll be glad to hear that. Marcus walks toward the door, then stops and turns back. And Mom, tell Sarah something for me. Tell her that she doesn't need to be me to make you proud. She needs to find her own path, her own thing, not try to take mine or anyone else's. When she does that, when she builds something that's truly hers, then she'll understand what I was trying to protect. I'll tell her. And Marcus walks out into the sunlight. So where are we now? Well, Marcus's company continues to thrive. Last I heard, they've grown to over 60 employees and are pulling in $15 million in annual revenue. That's almost double what the original company was making before he left. Several of the employees from the old company who didn't originally jump ship, they've since reached out and joined his new company. They saw which way the wind was blowing. Marcus eventually did rebuild some relationship with his parents. Not like it was before, it'll never be like it was before, but they talk occasionally. Holidays are still awkward, but they're working on it. Sarah, she ended up leaving the tech industry entirely. Last he heard, she was working in consulting. Doing fine, not great, but finding her own way. They don't talk often, but they're civil when they do. The original company finally closed its doors about 18 months after Marcus left. The remaining assets were sold off. His parents lost a significant amount of money, but they survived. Retirement will be tighter than they planned, but they'll be okay.
And Marcus? Marcus learned the most valuable lesson of his entire entrepreneurial journey. You can't build something great if you're constantly worried about pleasing people who don't respect your vision. Sometimes the people who love you will be your biggest obstacles, and sometimes the greatest gift they can give you is forcing you to believe in yourself enough to walk away. He built his empire once from nothing. When his family tried to take it, he burned it down and built it again, bigger, better, and completely his own. That's not just a business story. That's a story about knowing your worth, standing up for yourself, and refusing to let anyone, even family, make you feel like you're not enough. So, what do you think? Was Marcus justified in what he did? Should he have tried harder to work things out with his family? Or did he do exactly what he needed to do? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I love reading your perspectives on these stories, and honestly, this is one where I could see arguments on both sides. If you enjoyed this story, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We've got dozens of stories like this one, covering family drama, workplace revenge, relationship disasters, and incredible comebacks. Check out the video I'm linking in the description. It's about another entrepreneur who faced betrayal, but handled it completely differently. I think you'll find it fascinating. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this community. Your support means everything. Until next time, remember, know your worth, stand your ground, and never let anyone convince you that you're not enough. I'll see you in the next one.